The significance of a man's life can be measured by the mark he leaves on history. But evaluating the level of a man's passion is much more difficult. What is it that drives a man to be great every day? It can be the desire to be a champion, a sustained work ethic, or simply a love of what he does. Greatness does not come easily. But even more difficult is still wanting to be great when facing adversity. This is, in my own words, Darryl Sutter.
Coaching is what I do, but it's certainly not who I am. Got to manage the farm, first and foremost. It's a big business here, and we have a lot tied up in this. We have over 3,000 acres and a pile of cattle and a pile of equipment, and you can't walk away from it. It's still first and foremost.
Darryl, let's talk a little bit about the early days of hockey for you and your brothers, how they all got interested in it. Did somebody push all your brothers, you and your brothers, into this sport?
You know, I think we were a big farm family, 7 boys and Canadian winters, and it was part of your routine. We did milk cows in the morning and got in the bus and went to school and came home on the bus, did chores again, and went out to the slough. That's what you did. I remember vividly, we'd go to the local hardware store in town, and there was always trade-in skates, and that's us boys always got somebody's trade-in skates.
Did your dad have a relationship with the game and he urged all of you to get involved in it, or did it come natural?
You know, Dad was a good athlete, but we never seen him skate. He'd come out in his work boots and he'd stand out in the middle and slash you and swing at you and that, but he never played the game. The biggest thing I remember about Dad, the best story, and I've told it often, was in our arena in town. It was cold. It was 30 below outside. It was 40 below inside. And we come off and our toes were both frozen. I can remember there sitting there and we were crying, and I remember Dad walking into the lobby and saying, he said, if I ever see you crying in an arena again, he said, I'll never bring you back. And that's the thing I remember most about my dad as a player. Well, Carina was built, that's why it was called the Carina, starting with a C, because it was a car raffle. They raffle a car a month and sold tickets, and that's how they built the Carina back in the 50s. And it burnt down, I believe, in 2005, so it was when I was in Calgary, and so we were able to do a lot of the, quite honest, the fundraising through the Flames and through the Flames ownership. So the Carina has a lot of history there, not only with us, but you know, there's a lot of pro players that have come out of that little town and came through the Carina.
While the Carina was home to the most formative days of the Sutter boys' hockey development, their grit and toughness was born in a much more informal setting, the family barn.
Up there, that's where it all started, you guys. That was our summer rink. You know, as soon as ice was taken out and we weren't able to skate on the sloughs or in town at the rink, we played hockey in the hayloft.
It taught us a lot about who we are and what we are today, the things that we did up here. Lots of hockey games. We played a lot of Game 7s.
Just hating to lose and loving to win, right? And, I mean, we won the Stanley Cup a zillion times up here, right? Game 7, somebody always won the Stanley Cup and somebody lost.
Well, we had trap doors where we feed the cattle at in the wintertime, and if it got a little physical up here, sometimes you were going down, you went through the doors and down to the bottom of the barn, but you pick yourself back up and come back up and play.
A lot of bloody noses, a lot of bruised knuckles and shins and toes, and every time we'd go up to the house, Mom would always say, don't come crying to me, get back out there and get at it, or Dad would say, get back going again, or if you said you're going to go up and tell Mom and Dad, the older brothers say, well, you do that, we'll kick your ass even more.
Behind there, that's hell on wheels when we were kids. Skins versus shirts. There's 7 of us. All we had to do was round up one other guy that was willing to take the torture, and it was loud up there. There was lots of fighting and lots of crying, We spent a lot of, we still say that's why we're all so skinny when we're players, because we go up there and you'd sweat it out. Like there wasn't any shifts off.
And there was a picture that of Darryl. That's one of my what is the favorite, because I can look at him. I have many sad days, and I can look at that picture and he's smiling at me and telling, "Mother, buckle up."